Hey y'all, welcome to the Journey Podcast where I am your host, Kiera. I'm always so excited to see you guys and spend time with y'all because I love y'all so much. It is Thursday, March 4th, or is it the 5th? Y'all know what it is. It is Thursday, um, and I'm always excited to see y'all, spend time with y'all, and love on y'all because y'all are my favorite people. And so, let's go ahead. Oh, well, first I wanted to say I hope that you guys are having a good week. If you are not having the best week, I pray that the what's left of the week is good to you, enough to make up for the part of the week that's been passed. I myself, for those that are asking, because y'all are so nice, I myself have been having a good week. It's been pretty calm. It's been pretty just like, mellow. And I like when my weeks are like that because it's just like I can have some very chaotic weeks with all the things that I juggle. Um, as far as like business, personal, just all the things, y'all. It just be momming, just all the things, okay? Um, all the things that I juggle and those that feel me, you know. If you know, you know, okay? And so, but this week has been calm, thank God. I'm just so grateful for that because, yeah, it's not always like that. But, let's go ahead and jump into today's episode. Um, Today I wanted to talk about how normal it is to be tired even though you're still called. So basically it's really about just that exhaustion that you kind of experience on the way to the calling. So here you are, you feel like God calls you to do whatever it is that you feel called to do, and it's like you just kind of get burnt out or whatever the case may be. But it's like you still know that you have a purpose. You know that God has a plan that's bigger than what your right now is. And it's like, okay, I'm running around in circles. Like this is it's really I want to just talk about that burnout. That's really what I want to talk about. That's actually normal, guys. Because while we are human, um we do have times where well, let me speak for myself because y'all know I like to speak for myself versus like trying to talk for somebody else. I myself experience this burnout when I want to lean on my own understanding when cuz sometimes it's hard to just be like, "Oh God, I trust you." I trust you even though what I'm seeing right now. Hold on now. What's going on? What that is? And so even though sometimes I feel like that, it's like I wanna go for what I know. I wanna do what I understand. I wanna do what I feel is right versus listening to God. Sometimes we don't know. Um Sometimes I don't even like. Sometimes I'll question like, God, is that you or is that me in my mind telling myself that I need to do X, Y, Z? Normally, I feel like it's God talking to me when it's something that I really don't want to do. I've always been a rebel, y'all. I've always wanted to go against the grain. Well, let me try this and see what happens if I do this. And so it's like, sometimes I tell myself, you know what? Let me just do what I would normally do. It's so funny. I have a GPS story that I want to share with you. I think I probably have shared it before, but let's share it again. Even though if you heard it before, just act like you ain't never heard it. Okay? So, so basically, the GPS was telling me to go away that I just don't like to go when I was going to work, and sometimes I just put. Let me tell you now. Sometimes I will put where I'm going in the GPS just to see if my route is clear. Even if I know how to get there without looking at the GPS, without instruction, without directions, even if I know how to get there by myself, I still pull up the GPS to see, like, especially if I'm pressed for time. Don't let me be pressed for time, okay? I'm pressed for time. Hold on now. We gotta get there fast. I got to see what's going on. I like to know what's going on before, okay? Because sometimes I get pressed for time accidentally. I do not like to be late, but when I get pressed for time, I'm putting in a GPS to see if, what's going on the way that I would normally go. However, the GPS wants to tell you a better way to go. But I like to go the way that I like to go because I just like that way. It's no real like specific reason as to why I like that way. It's just like, okay, I know that way. I'm comfortable with going that way. I know how I can, navigate through that way. While the other way, you just don't know. The police is on the side. I'd be liking to speed sometimes. That is a confession that we're not gonna talk about. Sometimes I like to speed a little bit, especially when I'm late. And so I don't want to go the way where I don't know if the police is over there. I like to, when I'm going the way that I know their little spots. I know, where they could possibly be hiding. Not that I'm ducking the not that I'm ducking the police. I'm not. I just, I would just rather them not bother me while I'm, you know, doing what I'm doing, trying to get to work. They make me even later. What? Don't put me on, please. I'll be getting pulled over though. But anyways, that's because I go the way I am. Anyways, anyways, um, so I don't like to go the other way because sometimes it's just like little like and it's just the speed limit is a lot slower the other way. It's just like you just gotta go so slow going the other way, and so my GPS was telling me go the other way, don't go the normal way. Whatever reason, I didn't know why I was saying that. Y'all know what I did? Turn that GPS off and went the way that I wanted to go. Guess what happened when I did that? Now I'm sitting in traffic. I'm even later than I would have been. With the way that the GPS was telling me to go, I would have gotten there and still had a little bit of time to spare. And so it's so funny because as I was sitting in that traffic, I was forced to think because I had to put the car in park, y'all. It was so bad. And so here I am when there was no way for me to turn around and like re-navigate to the way. I was like, no, GPS, I want to do what you said. But now the GPS was like, doo doo, nope, go to do do what you was gonna do. Now you got no choice. There's no way you can't get off. There's no exit that you can get off on. You are stuck. And now you're gonna get where you're going, but you're gonna get there a lot later than what you were supposed to. And so, I tried to pull the GPS back up and see if I could, finesse something. It was no finessing that could be done. You stuck here. And so I had no choice but to think. And in that, I thanked God for the opportunity to be still. Because now I was forced to be still because I wanted to do things my way. I wanted to go the way that I knew. I wanted to go the way that I was comfortable with the way that I was familiar with, for all my reasons why I was, okay with that. While the GPS was saying, no, I know you might be comfortable with that way, but I got a better way for you. I have a better plan for you. I can get you to where you've been called. Hey, hold on now, where you've been called to go. As much as I've told this story, I have never felt this way about telling this story. So I can still get you where you've been called to be. In that time, it was me going to work. I can still get you there in time with a little bit of time to spare. You want to stop and get you some lunch, girl. If you just listen, if you just be obedient. And so the calling didn't change. Now I'm exhausted on my way, on my journey to where I'm going, where I've been called, because I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And I wasn't sure if that redirection, I questioned myself in being obedient. I said, you know what? Should I do what the GPS say, or should I just do what I want to do? And of course I was like, do what you want to do, girl. This your world. YOLO. Do it. Do it. If you're going to do it, be it. And so here I was doing what I wanted to do. And now I'm exhausted. So now I've sat in traffic for much longer. I was much later to where I was called to be than I could have, than having the time to spare. And it was like God said to me in that moment, I gave you another way. It's your fault while you're sitting in that. And so I couldn't even get mad. I couldn't even be upset because who am I upset with? I'm mad at myself now because I did what I wanted to do, and I ain't no need to get mad at yourself, you know? And so oftentimes we do that same thing when God calls us. So God calls us to do and be who we're supposed to be, and we know it in our heart, and we're on our way there. But not being obedient, not just listening for God. And sometimes my question used to be, how do I know that I'm hearing from God? And this is not just a voice in my head saying, "Oh, dude." Normally, like I said, normally the God, when God is talking to me, He usually telling me to do something that I wouldn't have chosen to do. No, I don't want to do it. No, like a bad little 2 year old. And so here we are. Sometimes, we want to lean on our own understanding. We want to go for what's familiar. We want to go and do what it is that we want to do, how we want to do it, when we want to do it. And then we want to complain. Well, I wanted to complain about me making the choice that I made for myself instead of when I could have just been, when I could have just listened to the GPS, when I could have just listened to God, when I could have just heard from Him. And so I want to give this advice. Um, if you're not sure when you're hearing from God, pray and ask God for clarity. God knows how He needs to talk to you. And you know what? I used to say, God, you're going to have to come down and send somebody to tell me this is what you want me to do. I need to hear, Kiara, go to the left. Or I'm going right. And so here we go to GPS, turn left. And here I go. He's doing exactly what he's communicating with me exactly how I need him to, and I'm still being disobedient. No, this ain't God. This is GPS. And so here we are. We ask God for all these signs, and we ask Him for all these, like all this validation and all this stuff. When He gives it to us, and we still ignore it. You don't need another sign. You just need to listen. And so when that came into my spirit, because I was like, God, give me another sign. And I said to him instantly, God said to me, girl, you don't need no more signs. You need to listen. You don't listen. Your head hard. You know what they say about hard head. And so here I was, hard headed as ever, always been that way. And I just feel like a lot of people have the same issue because I was talking to somebody else that kind of had a similar GPS story. And it was so funny because I was like, wow, like the fact that we both have that story was and we just met each other. Like I think we shared that story like newly on because like I said, I've shared that a lot from the time that has happened to me, and it's happened again. And so I keep on having the same test until I learned to be obedient to and learn to listen to God. And as I've been listening, alignment, just straight alignment. And so it's not necessarily that you, because we get to a point where we're questioning our calling, where we start to experience that burnout. um and that burnout in life, it's like an emotional or spiritual or physical. Sometimes we're just tired because here we are thinking that we got to work really hard to get to where we need to go, when really we need to be still. We need to get closer to God, build our personal relationship with God, and build ourselves as individuals versus building our finances. Because here we are, sometimes it's not even the finances, and sometimes you just need to listen. You just need to show up to certain places. You need to be in certain rooms, and everything else is added into you. And it's like, dang, you mean to tell me I had to work those 48 hours? I had to work that 90 hours this week because God was going to just put somebody in place if I was in the right place, because I listened, and I was where I was supposed to be. I was available when I needed to be. And so here we are. We clog ourselves up with our way, and we forget to hear from God. We forget that God is the provider of all things, emotionally, spiritually, financially, in all aspects of our lives. He makes a way. He makes a way out of no way. Sometimes there don't be no way. You be like, you don't even see it. You don't see it. You don't feel it. You don't think it. You don't know. It ain't there when you look at it with your eyes. And here you are. God's just waiting on you to listen. Just listen. Just be still and know that He is God, and that He does do all things. He does great things. He does miraculous things. And He's just waiting on us to listen, you know? And so there's a difference between being tired and misaligned. Um Sometimes, like I said, we'll question like our calling. Are we on the right journey? Am I doing the right things? Am I on my way to where I'm supposed to be? Is this what God really called me to do? And so now we get to a point where we're questioning God, we're questioning ourselves, we're questioning everything, and we feel like we're running around in circles. So here you are running around in circles to get to where you really need to be, but if you just listen, you can start running around in circles, you know? Um excuse me, that work burnout where you just like work, and all you do is work, and you really don't ever have time to work on what God called you to do. That is not alignment. That was me. That I am currently right now in this moment on March 5th, 2026. I am currently getting out of that. This year I made a journal to structure my next moves. I know what it is. I'm confident in what God called me to do and what God called me to be. And so as I'm working on that, there's a lot of things that I am having to trust God regarding, because here I am in a place where it's like I have always been a hard worker since I was 16 years old. I've worked. I worked for everything that I wanted, everything that I needed. Never been the type to depend on people to do things for me. As I've had my oldest daughter since I was 16 years old, um, I've been a provider. And so I got my first job. I never stopped working. I've made up in my mind the way for me to get all the things that I need for myself and for my child and my children that came after her. I had to work. I had to have it. However, God has shown me how He will put people in position to bless you with the things that you have need of. And here I was working, and I still couldn't get the things that I had need of, even with me doing what I thought that I needed to do, because I just didn't know, you know? And so as you grow, you become wiser, and you just make better decisions. And so here I am, 33 years old, and I'm just now structuring my journey to move forward, and how I'm planning out the next steps to get to the overall destination. And so here I shared that with a friend of mine, what my plan was. And just to have an accountability partner, like, just to kind of follow up with how are things going? How are you how are you like with reaching your goals? I have a 90-day plan. I have a 60-day, 30, 60, 90-day plan, and I'm just leaving it at 90 days to get so when that 90 days comes, then what's next, a lot of times, guys, y'all, I'm gonna say we, because I really have not done this, but we have so many resources. A lot of times we are on ChatGPT looking up what zodiac sign go with mine, when really ChatGPT can help you with structuring, moving forward, structuring your finances, structuring your schedule. Chat does all these things. Now, don't get me wrong, I do pay, um, because I utilize ChatGPT for a lot of different things, that I would not be able to utilize it for had I not gotten the monthly subscription. But yeah, chat definitely does help. Chat GPT. There are other AI things like that. I use Chat GPT as a planner, and like I said, a lot of other things, but I definitely use it as a planner, and I take the things from there as far as like how I should move forward. And I pray about these things too now. So sometimes it's a little, hold on, it's God mixed with chat, and I'm pretty sure God, whoever, he got that. But and I feel, if I feel misaligned, I'm fully capable of acknowledging that, because I know what alignment looks like. But when you don't know what alignment looks align y'all gonna be getting twisted over my words. When you don't know what alignment looks like, then you just don't know. But when I say that it's a seamless feeling, it's not forced. It's not it's not hard. It's just like, wow, this was that easy. That's all I had to do was listen, and just everything starts falling into place when you're in alignment. And so that chaos doesn't exist. And we talked about this last week in last week's episode. But the chaos doesn't exist when things are in alignment. It's like, dang, you mean to tell me that this was that easy? And so um this is for anybody, any entrepreneurs, parents, anybody that's just feeling behind. If you're feeling behind, please know that your that feeling does not mean that you have to reevaluate your calling. Sometimes you just need to reevaluate your structure. Sometimes you need to reevaluate the habits that you're keeping. This was last season. Sometimes you need to go ahead and rebrand yourself so that you can operate the way that you need to operate, to move forward, to operate in alignment, to not be so burnt out, to not spend time doing things that you could do without doing. And so sometimes what that looks like is being still, creating boundaries and not explaining the boundaries. Just because I have a new boundary does not mean that I have to explain to everybody around me why I have this new boundary, because I do. So another thing that will contribute to that burnout is just having a hard time outgrowing old versions of yourself. And so while we get stuck in a version of ourselves that what we were only meant to um, be for a short period of time, we've extended that to, oh, well, I'm better, and so I'm gonna just stay like this because it's better than the last version of myself. However, growth is a continuous thing. As it may be uncomfortable, it's continuous and it has to keep happening, because if not, then you will become stagnant and you will see yourself in that cycle of burnout. That just leads to burnout. It's like, okay, like, and you will tell yourself out loud, well, I'm tired of this. Well, if you're tired of this, what are we doing to change this? Um, and it's okay for people to misunderstand you. That's okay. Everybody that you encounter, everybody that you have encountered, every family member, every friend that you've had for 90 years, um, they're not gonna always understand you. And whilst it's ideal for us to be able to explain to them, hey, this is my process. This is what I've been growing through. Ooh, y'all know I like that. I like to say going through. I don't like to say going through because I feel that going through something makes me feel like, it's so sad. But growing through just makes me feel like a flower. And we're all flowers. Male and female flowers. Um, yeah. And sometimes, um, it just looks like not explaining yourself, not telling anybody what your journey is. While it is ideal to have somebody that you can utilize as an accountability partner, sometimes you have to move in silence, and just kind of do your thing, to kind of step away from the crowd, and just, vibe out like that. You just sometimes you have to. Sometimes you gotta walk alone and leave everything behind. And so that's okay if you have to do that, and come back and say, hey, y'all, look at me. I'm okay. I'm alive. I'm well. I'm good. Sometimes you have to do that. Do it. Um, and so when things feel chaotic, sometimes, because when it's uncomfortable, I don't mean to say chaotic, because no, when it feels chaotic, unalignment, instantly, when it's just, no, no, that's not, no. Sometimes when you feel uncomfortable, sometimes that discomfort is redirection. Um, if I had bust a U-turn in the middle of the thing, oh my God, everybody would have been looking at me. But I know what God told me to do, so hold on, let me turn around real quick. He turn around real quick and get right and get on the way. We're let me get on the right path. I'm on the wrong one, sitting in traffic. And so let's look at it as that traffic was the um me having to stop. Me having to stop was me being stagnant in my situation on my journey. Me not being able to grow. Me not being me encountering obstacles that I wasn't even meant to encounter. And here I wasn't meant to encounter, but if I had listened, then I would have had a smooth little zoop zoop de doop. You know, I would have got straight on through there. Oh, hold on. You know, I can't. God can't take you through there if you if you ain't listening. You got to listen. Eat the cake. You know, it could be a cakewalk, but here we are. We are making it hard for ourselves by just not listening. Okay, um, and so sometimes there's a lonely season before you upgrade, and sometimes you, like I said, we need that. I needed to be in that traffic alone in my car in silence, and I needed to deal with my emotions regarding how, like, I cannot stand being late. Like, I just can't. It just makes me, because I'm a very calculated person. When like, I like everything to be on the hour, at the hour. Like, if it says that I'm going to get there at 6:45, just put me there at 7. Just, I'm not going in until 7. Just stop, just please. Ugh. And so I like for my timing to be like that. But if I want to just do the right, I can just get there on time and I can just listen. Anyways, um yeah, I just feel like a lot of times our discomfort and our exhaustion and our burnout is just something um that we have encountered because we just won't listen. And so let me see. I took some notes, guys, that for this episode. Cuz like I said, just because you're tired, that does not mean that you're not operating in your calling. You are sometimes we're misguided. Sometimes we'll take direction and instructions from other people versus taking that time to get those instructions in that direction from God and just listening and hearing from him. And that's free. You don't have to go and pay for monthly subscriptions for somebody to tell you that you need structure. You don't need to pay for somebody to tell you what God has been telling you all along. And so you don't. Sometimes it's like, you want that confirmation because you want somebody to tell you what was on your mind already. Don't get me wrong. I've wanted that before, where I'm like, okay, I know in my heart that God told me to this. However, I need somebody sitting in front of me to tell me it too. And then I might need somebody else to. I might need to see it on a stop sign, or I might need to see a road sign that says the same thing that the person and God told me. And God, I need another sign. No, you need to listen. Stop. Just please quit. And so here we are. We get so tired. We get so tired. We get so burnt out, just trying all the things. And now we've tried all these things, and none of these things are working. And now we're questioning God. Now we're questioning ourselves. Now we're questioning if we're operating in our calling. And now we're doubting that we were operating in our calling when really we know what we were supposed to do. You know that you knew. You knew. It's just like, it's crazy because, like I said, this is a choice that we make. It's not something that we are forced to do. So we're choosing this for ourselves. And then we're getting upset, and then we're getting confused because what we chose didn't work. And like I said, most of the time when God is talking to me, he's usually telling me, hey, Kiara, it's something I wouldn't have thought of that. I know me. I know I wouldn't think. I know I ain't thinking of going away with all the police. I'm not going that way. And so, don't quit. Don't give up. Don't compare yourselves to others that are on the same journey. Don't feel like, um, just like I said, don't give up. This isn't about giving up. This is about realigning yourself. This is about reevaluating, what do I need to get rid of? What am I doing that is wrong? Why am I ignoring this, this inner voice? Why am I ignoring what I'm hearing from God? And like I said, if you're not sure when you're hearing from God, talk to God like how I'm talking to you. You see, I'm talking to y'all fine. And ain't none of y'all saying nothing back to me right now. But I'm talking to y'all because I know what I want to say. And I know that I'm going to get feedback at some point, if ever. I know that eventually somebody will say something back, and somebody heard what I said, you know. And so my conversation with God is just like this. I'm talking to God, and I take time. When you're having a conversation, it's just like you're having a conversation with anybody. You take time, just you say what you got to say, and take time to be still and listen. You can't just talk, and tell somebody you need something, tell somebody you want something, and then never take the time to sit still and shut up. Ain't about you talking so much, okay? Ain't but so much talking. Be quiet. Be quiet, sit still, and know that He is God. You know? Um, Sometimes that physical tired, what it looks like is lack of sleep. I ain't slept in days. I'm overworking myself. And that's a physical burnout. Emotionally tired. Um, when you're carrying everyone else's problems, and you got your own problems, guys, stop taking time when you have a lot on your plate. It's it, we all done been a strong friend. We've all been the strong friend, and we've all needed a stronger friend. And in that, when you are going through things, it is normal. It is okay. My cousin and I said this. We were talking together. We say a lot of things. Like, we just agree on a lot of things. So we're literally the same person. Just she's older than me. Um, we say when we ask each other before we dump our like problems or things that we're going through on each other, we ask, do you have the mental capacity to deal with some things right now? And it is okay for you to say no, or it is okay for you to interject when someone calls you and they instantly start without asking you that, because not everybody is considerate enough to even ask that. It's okay to say once they start, girl, let me tell you, hold up, I don't have the mental capacity right now to deal with. I have so much things going. And if you don't want to share that you have so much things going on, just say, I got a lot going on right now. Or let me call you back. Because not everybody's going to understand I don't have the mental capacity to deal with that, because they're so used to you having the mental capacity. Let me call you right, girl. Let me call you right back. Okay. Now they waiting on you to call them back, and I'm gonna call you back when I get myself together. I can't deal with that right now, and I'm not going to. And so, with that being said, don't deal with it. You don't have to take on anybody's dysfunction when you have your own dysfunction. I've had my own dysfunction, and no, I can't deal with that right now. Please, let's later. No, no, no. And that's okay. You are human. You don't always have to be the strong friend. Sometimes you need to be your own strong friend. That's fine. It's okay. Get somebody else to do it. Not right now. I do it all the time. I can't carry that right now. Um, that's a thing. Mentally tired. Decision fatigue. Um, feeling distant. Feeling discouraged. And just constant planning, like where you just feel like you're just always planning stuff, like oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And that mental fatigue, mentally tired, that's normally my like, well, and I'm not gonna claim that. My mom told me that I need to be more intentional with my words, and like I'll be like, oh mom, I'm so tired, and she'd be like, stop saying that, you're not tired, you just need to get some rest. And so just like change it, which basically I'm saying the same thing, but I'm just using my words differently and being more intentional with that. And so I agree. I'm trying not to say things that when you're used to just saying stuff a certain way, it's like I'm gonna just say it. But no, I'm definitely and if y'all keep me accountable, okay? Because at the end of the day, yeah, no, I don't want to say that. Um, so mental tiredness is something that I have experienced previously. I do not experience that no more. I am not mentally tired. I am mentally strong. Um, I get the rest that I need. I do the things that I need to do to contribute to me not being mentally tired so that I don't experience that. But when I did experience that, that was definitely overall my like number one thing. I was constantly planning. Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do that. Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I need to do that. And so, as I was telling you guys, now I have it more structured out to 30, 60, and 90-day plan where if things don't go as the plan, I don't even trip about it. Cool. That was obviously something that I threw in there, and that was not in God's plan for me, and so that's okay. Whatever we need to do, we're gonna go ahead and do it. We're gonna move the way that God says move, so that we can continue to experience this beautiful alignment that we've been experiencing. And yeah, and so yeah, that was definitely number one for me. And then spiritual tired is when you're feeling distant from God, just feeling discouraged, and you're questioning God, like God, what are you doing? And He like, girl, or boy, it ain't me, it's you. And so that's so funny. Um, sometimes it's not sometimes we're just overloaded with our own plans, our own processes, our own structure, and so we're not even mentally capable of letting things not go as planned. Like, oh, things didn't go as planned, now I just threw everything off. No, if it didn't go as planned, keep moving. You know what overall the goal and the calling is. Take that time to pray. Hey, God, I know that you're here. I know that you're leading me and guiding me. I'm gonna trust you. I'm gonna trust you to do whatever it is that you see fit for me next. I don't know what you think. What you I don't know what's next, but whatever you say it is, we gotta get that level of trust. And don't get me wrong. Sometimes I'm not. I'm not all there. Sometimes I do need my accountability partner to pull up on me and be like, "Hey, what's up? What you doing?" You know. And so yeah. Um Sometimes y'all growth can cause you to be exhausted. Like I know we've all heard the terminology where people say that that growth is exhausting sometimes. Growth is difficult sometimes. And you know when it's growth versus like those tiredness. So it's one thing to be tired, and then there's another thing to be misaligned. Um Growth exhaustion feels different than wrong path exhaustion. So that wrong path exhaustion just feels like like everything going wrong. You mean to tell me ain't nothing going right on this? And a lot of times, guys, as we're growing, we'll look at these little gurus online that have quote unquote mastered whatever it is that we are doing, and they don't show the part that was hard. They don't show the part that was difficult. They don't show the part where they had to work their own business before getting employees. They don't show the part where all the employees were lazy. They didn't show the part where all the employees quit. They don't show the part where you had to fire people and you had to hire new people hoping that they were great people and finding that they don't show up to work on time. And and so they don't show that part. And so with that being said, we cannot compare ourselves to others. That's one thing. When you are on your journey, you are on your own journey. Stop looking at what other people are doing or where they are in their career. They did the work. And if you want to get there, you got to do the work. And just because they started years ago and you're just starting, or you're starting over because you may have made decisions that set you back, or you may have went the way the GPS told you not to go. Went the way you were comfortable instead of going the way that God told you to go. And we can't compare ourselves to them because they did something that we didn't do, and it's okay because here we are. We learned from that, and had that not happened, we would have never learned. We would have never been given that opportunity to grow. And so focus on yourself. Focus on your own journey. While you may be able to take little nicks and knacks from their journey, and from what they're doing right now and how things are going from them right now, let your journey be that your journey. You're not trying to be on the same path or journey as them. Maybe you are going where they're going. Maybe you will surpass them. Maybe you won't. But you don't know if you don't grow, if you don't get there, if you don't do the process, you don't do the work. And so when you don't do the work, you don't see the fruit. You don't plant the seed, you don't get no fruit. You cannot just go, I'm not going to go outside. Matter of fact, I got something better. Well, so everybody's not um on the visual, and I like to take that into consideration. But let me just say what I was gonna say. Um, you're not gonna go outside and just look out the ground, and an apple is growing out the ground. You got to plant the apple seed. You have to plant the seed to see the fruit. You never plant the seed, you're not going to see the fruit. If you never start the journey, you're never going to get to the end of, you're not going to get to the end. You never take the journey. You automatically counted yourself out because you looked at what somebody else was doing and how far somebody else got. And so that in itself can cause burnout, exhaustion. Now here you are like, "Oh, I got so much work to do." You didn't even put your name, like you didn't even start. You didn't please. You do got a lot of work to do. Can you just start? That's the first thing. That's the first thing. If you know what God called you to do, let's stop talking about it out loud because it sounds good. Let's stop living in dreams, and let's make this our reality. Um get the rest that you need for your physical. Um protect your peace with your mental and your emotional, and don't abandon the vision. Don't leave the vision on the table, because somebody else is going to do the work. Somebody else is going to start after you had the idea, and they're going to see the fruit because they're going to plant the seed. And here you are with the seed still in your hand. I got a seed. I got a seed. Yeah, me too. Put it in the ground, and now it's growing. Ooh, and then here you are. I got a seed. Hey, why are you seeing the fruit and I'm not? Because I never planted the seed. You never planted the seed. You gotta plant the seed, y'all. Um, you're not failing. You're not weak. You're human. It's okay. It's okay to have this journey. It's okay to start over. Start over as many times as you need to, but do not give up. The calling doesn't disappear because you're exhausted. You're still that's still just matter of fact, do it like your kids. Just because Ziana is tired, I called her. I still want her to come here. Come here. I don't care if you're tired. Just because your child is tired, let your child be in the room, and you in the room, and you call their name, and they decided, man, I ain't coming. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Imagine a child telling you. Imagine even if it ain't your child. Imagine your niece or nephew or your little cousin. Imagine calling them because you want them to come here. You want them to do something, and they say, "Oh, your room too far. I ain't coming to see what you want." I'm not. Who are you talking to? Come in now. If I got to get up, that's the first thing we gonna say. If I got to get up, if I have to get up, you ain't gonna like it. Imagine God saying, if I got to get up and shake some stuff up in your life, you gonna have some financial issues. When you are called, you have to come. Come on, y'all. Let my mama call me. Let my mama call me, and I ain't came. I don't care what it was. I was getting. Listen. Let that be life, okay? Let that be in that you got when you didn't come. You ain't hear me call you. That's the first thing that the adult says. You didn't hear me calling you, because I want to know if you having hearing issues. Is- you know, and so that's first. But yeah, guys, um, just because you're tired doesn't mean you ain't got to come. Come here, cause I said so. You know, and so what is it right now? We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up because we are just going. Okay. What is it that you need right now? Do you need rest? Do you need to release some things, or some people? Um, what in what ways do you need realignment? Ask yourself that, and journal it. Put it in your journal. Do write these things down. Even if your journal is your notes on your phone. Um, yeah. And so I want to do something a little bit different today. I wanted to close in a prayer with you guys, because I just feel like sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need a friend to pray with us, a friend to just be on one accord with us, a friend that's growing through the same thing as us. Sometimes we just need that. Sometimes we just need that. So I wanted to close in prayer. And so I'm getting a little closer and a little personal with you guys. Cause I love y'all so much and y'all just make me so happy. And I am your friend. Regardless if I know your name or not. If I don't know your name, please reach out to me and say something. Let me know how this resonated with you, if it did at all. If not, just send some love. I would appreciate it. Um, but let's go ahead and let's just say a prayer for anyone that's listening. Um, so, God, for the person that's listening right now who feels tired in places that they can't even explain, I pray you meet them there. Not with pressure, not with guilt, but with peace. Remind them that the exhaustion doesn't cancel their purpose. Remind them that slowing down doesn't mean they're falling behind. Remind them that being human doesn't make them unqualified. If they need rest, give them the rest without shame. If they need clarity, quiet the noise around them. If they need strength, renew it. Even if it's not all at once, Lord. Just give them that strength that they need to get through the day, to get through the moment, to get through the journey. Help them to release what's straining them. Help them to realign where they've been drifting. And help them to remember that the calling on their lives still stands, even in this season. Let them breathe again. Let them trust again. And let them rise again. In Jesus' name, amen. I love you guys with my whole entire heart. I pray that all good things are in the remainder of the week. The weather is gonna be amazing. I hope that you guys are able to get out and experience some, if not all of that. And like I said, I love you guys with my whole heart. And y'all have a good night. Bye.